Welcome, viewer, to Imperia Recentum. This is a channel where I'll cover the history of the late Roman Empire, from the end of the Principate, or early period, in 235 AD to 284 AD, to the Dominate, from 284 AD to all the way to the end of the West and perhaps beyond, at 476 AD, when Rome fell. In this prologue series, I will discuss the events leading up to the 3rd century crisis that fundamentally reshaped Rome, as well as some history before that. As we can see here, this is the extent of the Roman Empire by 180 AD. Rome had expanded from the far reaches of Britannia to the deserts of Arabia and Egypt, with a sprawling mass of nearly 50 million people. Its administration and bureaucracy had a lot to battle. A revolt could occur in some far-off province like Judea or Egypt and have months to grow before the emperor even got word of it. It is here that we start in 180 AD. The last emperor before Rome starts to erode is definitely Marcus Aurelius, a well-read philosopher-emperor who had spent years campaigning in Parthia and Dacia to preserve Roman borders with his son, Commodus. Marcus Aurelius was known as the last of the 5 good emperors, and when he died, Rome would never be as glorious as it once was. Now, I know what you're thinking. What does all of this have to do with the fall of Rome? Because it sets the pretense for the emperor who set the crumbling in motion. Commodus. Commodus had problems, and was an egotistical emperor who enjoyed dressing up as Hercules and fighting as a gladiator, a regular incompetent. This was definitely nothing new, and his megalomania ended in 192, when he was assassinated by conspirators in his villa. What should have occurred was a normal succession, like every time an emperor of his stature got killed, like Caligula and Nero. But the lack of ability to find a suitable emperor meant chaos for the rest of the 2nd century, and even beyond. Enter Pertinax, a good-natured Roman official and former officer who became emperor. He was rushed to become coronated the following morning by Praetorian guards, and immediately there were already problems. Cassius Dio tells us that the Praetorian Guard demanding a large sum of donations from the emperor for their service, and when Pertinax couldn't pay up, the Praetorian Guard sold off all of Commodus's estates, including selling his concubines into slavery to get the money they desired. Pertinax's reign was regarded as tense, as he attempted to emulate Marcus Aurelius, reforming the Roman currency which had been devalued into inflation levels during Commodus's reign. Pertinax even tried to reform the Praetorian Guard, instilling discipline into their ranks, but he was quickly killed by them, considering he was threatening their power for emperor. After this, the Praetorian Guard had complete control over the throne, and when this occurred, they decided to, instead of handing it over to another competent general, to put the throne up for auction. Yes, you heard me right. For the first time, a Roman could now buy themselves the position that Augustus earned by sweat and blood. Didius Julianus, a prominent patrician, bought the throne and was deeply unpopular. Cassius Dio remarks that crowds would actually hog his speeches, yelling and shouting at him and calling him a robber, while he got stones and vegetables thrown at him regularly. Poor guy. With Didius Julianus being hated by nearly every Roman, 3 generals and governors acted. Septimius Severus rose in rebellion in Pannonia, modern-day Hungary, Pescennius Niger in Syria, and Claudius Albinus in Britain, each with around 3 or so legions. Each one of them declared themselves emperor, thus giving the name to the Year of the 5 Emperors. Julianus, with what little support he had, and the Praetorian Guard on his side, decided to focus personally on Severus, as he was the closest threat. With Severus having the support of the Roman people in Italy, quickly moved his legion south. With various towns declaring him emperor, Didius Julianus panicked, even sending the Praetorian chief to negotiate with Severus. The prefect was executed, and Severus continued south. The Praetorians, who weren't really experienced in field battles, tried to prepare, but sources are conflicted upon their end. Cassius Dio claims that the Praetorians fought to the death, while most modern historians conclude that from evidence, the Praetorians deserted en masse. What we know is for certain is that Didius Julianus was executed by Severus, leading Severus to become the Emperor of Rome. However, there were still challengers. With Severus the Roman Emperor, Roman authority was preserved, But it wouldn't be for long. We would have a lot more degradation and degeneracy going on in the later years, and ultimately, by the 5th century, at the end of it, Rome would be no more. However, this is just a stepping stone in the long line of faults that Rome has gone over, and we will cover those in the next few days. Thank you for watching.